Welcome back. Our second rule that we're learning tonight is the quotient rule. And here you can see it written with using the prime. So if we have q of x where we have a u of x divided by v of x, that's why it's called the quotient rule, then the derivative of q will be equal to u prime of x times v of x minus u of x times v prime of x all over v squared. The other way you'll see it, and this is the way that's on your formula sheet, is where it shows y equals u over v, where you can see that quotient. The derivative of y then would be v times the derivative of u minus u times the derivative of v all over v squared. I'm going to go ahead and use the one in your formula packet just to make sure you're comfortable with it. And we're going to do problem 1. So here we have 2x plus 1 cubed divided by our square root of x. So very similar to the product rule. We're going to first define our u and x and then take the derivative of our u and x. So notice how our u is in the numerator and our v is in the denominator. So we'll use that same with our function here. So our u in this problem number 1 would be 2x plus 1 to the third power. Our v is the denominator, and that would be the square root of x. If we take the derivative of u respect to x, we'll have to use the chain rule. And remember with the chain rule that we do 3 times the inside here, 2x plus 1, that always stays the same. We subtract 1 from 3, and then we take the derivative of the inside, which in this case is 2. Let's go ahead and simplify that and multiply 3 times 2, which would be 6. And keep that multiplied by 2x plus 1 to the second power. Our v, we're going to rewrite that square root of x as, that's right, x to the 1/2. So our derivative of v respect to x, using the power rule, is 1/2 x to the negative 1/2, which would be equal to 1 over 2 to the square root of x. Now we're just going to plug in to our formula with our quotient rule. So our derivative of y respect to x is equal to our v times the derivative of u minus u times the derivative of v all over v squared. So v times the derivative of u minus u times the derivative of v all over v squared. So our v squared is our square root of x squared. Okay, so let's simplify this. And we have 6 times the square root of x times 2x plus 1 squared minus 2x plus 1 cubed over 2 times the square root of x all over the square root of x squared, which would be x. Okay, so remembering back from last unit, we cannot leave this numerator this way. So we will have to combine our numerator. So our common denominator would be 2 square root of x. So on this side, I will need to multiply 2 times the square root of x over 2 times the square root of x, so that they will have a common denominator. So if we do that, we will have 6 times 2 would be 12, and the square root of x times square root of x would be x. For the numerator, our denominator would be that 2 square root of x. And then we're subtracting our 2x plus 1 cubed all over 2 square root of x. And this entire thing is being divided by x. So remember, when we're dividing, when we have a fraction and we're dividing another item, we can multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, so we're just combining the numerator, since they have the same common denominator, and we're going to be multiplying by 1 over x, since this is divided by x. Then we multiply by the reciprocal. Oh, just notice this should be a cubed. I mean, it is a cubed here, and it should be one here. Okay, so we're almost done here. And we can do a couple things here. We can factor out a 2x plus 1 cubed, and then multiply our 12x times our 2x plus 1, and keep the same common denominator. So let's first factor out 2x plus 1 squared, because both items have that. So if I factor out 2x plus 1 squared, I'll be left with 12x minus a 2x plus 1 all over 2x square root of x. Now the reason we have to do all this is we're not finding x at a particular x value. We're finding our derivative, so we can plug in any x value. If we were given a x value, we could have went ahead and plugged it in even up here. But because we have to write it for any x, that's why we have to keep going and simplify. Almost done now. And we just combine like terms here and get 10x minus 1 all over 2x, the square root of x. Okay, great. One last problem, and I want to leave you with, and there's a short video on YouTube I'd like you to watch. It's made out of a music, so to help you remember the chain rule, product rule, and quotient rule. But let's just show one more problem using the quotient rule, and we have our x squared divided by our x squared minus 2x to the 4th power. So our u in this case is x squared, and our v is x squared minus 2x to the 4th power. We're going to go ahead and use this one so you can get a sense how that one works. They're equivalent, the two formulas. But let's go ahead and find u prime. The derivative of u would be 2x. The derivative of v, we'd use the chain rule, so it would be 4 times x squared minus 2x cubed times 2x minus 2. So simplifying that, and we'll have 8x minus 8 times x squared minus 2x to the third power. Okay, so now we just plug into our quotient formula. We have our derivative of u times v minus our u times the derivative of v, all over v squared. Okay, so u prime is 2x times v, x squared minus 2x to the fourth, minus u, which would be x squared, times the derivative of v. And then all over v squared. And v squared in this case is our x squared minus 2x to the fourth. So if we square this, we'll end up with x squared minus 2x to the eighth. But let me go ahead and show you that step. Okay, so the last part is this simplifying, and the only thing we can really simplify is in here and right here. So our first item will stay the same, and then we'll have a minus 8x cubed minus 8x squared times 8x squared minus 2x to the third, all over x squared minus 2x to the eighth power. There's one more step here where we can factor this out, and I'll leave that for you to try. Pause the video right now and go ahead and try that, factor that out, and see if you can simplify. Okay, so you should have continued simplifying and gotten down to your final answer to being, for the derivative of q for our number 2 problem, is negative 6x cubed minus 12x squared divided by our x squared minus 2x all to the 5th power. Okay, so the last thing I would like for you to do is to watch the quick video. There's a link on the website just to watch the quick, it's a memory device of F of U song, and let us know what you think in class. Have a great night.